In this video, we're going to disassemble, clean, and reassemble this Craftsman half-inch drive ratchet. Model number is 44809. This is one of my favorite ratchets. It's made in the USA. They no longer make them here. They're currently being made in Taiwan. So occasionally I open them up, clean them, put a little lube, and then reassemble. Tools that you're going to need: set of snap ring pliers. I use a small, like eyeglass, flathead screwdriver. As far as lubricants, you can either do a white lithium grease spray or CRC brake and caliper grease. Real basic. First thing we're going to do is we're going to use our snap ring pliers to remove the snap ring inside. I also use the flathead screwdriver to pop the snap ring out of the groove if needed. And once you get it started, and pry it out. And there's a snap ring. This is the snap ring removed. Now what you'll see underneath is there's a cover plate that covers up the internals to the ratchet. So what we'll do is we'll pry it out. It comes out pretty easily. Yep. And that's the inside of the ratchet. So we'll grab the drive out of the top, like so. Comes out very easily. No force needed. You'll see all the teeth all along. Now the next part is a little bit tricky because we have a pawl inside of the ratchet, right here. And underneath the pawl, I don't know if you could see that, but there's a ball bearing. And under the ball bearing, there's actually a spring inside there. So when we pull the pawl out, you have to watch that the ball doesn't roll away on you. Pawl comes out pretty easily. Use the flathead. Just push it out from the top. And now you can see that little ball bearing sitting inside there. After removing the pawl, the lever for the drive direction just comes out of the bottom. The lever to change direction just comes right out of the backside, like so. This lever happens to be plastic. Sometimes they're metal, depending on how old your ratchet is. This ratchet's only about 15 years old, and my ball bearing just rolled away. So there's the ball bearing. There's also a spring located underneath where the bearing sat. And you can just pull that right out. So now you can see I got a spring, my ball bearing, here's my pawl, the drive, the lever, and the cover. And the snap ring. First thing we want to do is I usually just take a paper towel and I just wipe everything down. If your ratchet's really bad, you can use brake cleaner or some other solvent, spray on it, and then wipe down or scrub down if if it's really in bad shape. So I just wipe down the C-clip, the faceplate, same thing. This ratchet's not that dirty. I clean them every so often. So I wipe this guy down, so it's pretty clean. Same thing with the pawl and the drive. This is not that bad. It still has some of the grease that I put on here last time that I cleaned it. Just wipe it all down. And then the drive, same thing. Just wipe all the surfaces down, get all the dirt out. I mean, it's black, but it's still lubed up pretty well. And I'm not going to go crazy applying more lube to it. Alright, so that's it for disassembly, light cleaning. If you want, you can also wipe down the inside of the head of the ratchet. So I mean, it looks like there's a bunch of grease in there, so same thing. Taking a paper towel, just wipe around the outer edges up top. It's all going to depend on how dirty your ratchet is. This one, like I said, it's not very dirty, so pretty comfortable with that. All right, now it's ready for reassembly. So what helps here, but is not required, is if you have a bench vise where you can put the ratchet in a vise upright to hold it while you're putting together the spring and the ball bearing. So what I did was I put the ratchet inside my bench vise. It's not required, but if not, then you may have to have someone hold the ratchet upright for you to keep it all together while you assemble the pieces. So what we'll do is we'll take our spring, we'll put the spring back down inside the hole. We'll take our ball bearing, we'll rest it right back on top of the spring. Might want to put a finger on the back so if it rolls through, it doesn't get lost. So what you'll notice is that when you take your little screwdriver, you can press down on the ball and spring together. Right? So now the challenge is getting the pawl back over the ball bearing without losing it. So before we put this back in, what we'll do is put a little light coating of grease. Like I said, very light coating of grease onto the pawl. You'll also need the lever that goes through the backside. This is where it gets a little tricky. Right? So you get the lever in there. Then you'll take your flathead screwdriver to hold this ball bearing in place. And it's going to take a couple of tries. So there it is, back in place. So the screwdriver is holding down the ball bearing. The pawl slid back into the groove, lined it up with the lever in the back. Now I can pull out the screwdriver, and you can see the ball bearing is in place where the spring is. Now if you turn the lever, that's the action to reverse direction. So now that the pawl's back in, same thing with the drive. what you can do is you can apply some grease to the teeth. But I'm not going to. It looks like I still have quite a bit still on after wiping it down. So what you'll do is you'll just insert the drive back into its groove. It goes in pretty easily. And turn the lever, clicks the opposite way. So now the cover goes on the top. And now we get to work our snap ring back into the groove. Now we'll use a combination of the snap ring pliers and the screwdriver to get the C-clip back on the ratchet. Now it's back together. And that's how we disassemble, clean, and reassemble the US-made Craftsman ratchets. Thanks.